Hello and welcome back to Elden Ring. This is part 8 of our dexterity run through the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Last time we went through the Stone Coffin Fisher, doing most of St. Trina and Talier's quest. We also got the Crimson Seed Talisman +1, a hefty cracked pot, the ability to craft Eternal Sleep Grease, the Velvet Sword of St. Trina, which causes eternal sleep buildup. We got the multi-layered Ring of Light incantation, and the Remembrance of Putrescence, along with the ability to craft Lolling Branches, the Deadly Poison Perfume Bottle, and St. Trina's Smile. And this time, we can start off by talking to Letta.
Ah, there you are. It took me long enough, I know. But I've made my decision. I believe it wisest to eliminate the Horn Scent. If he were to point his blade at Sir Mesmer or Queen Marika, perhaps it would not matter. But vengeance changes a man. And one day, his blade may turn towards Miquella the Kind. Kindly Miquella is, after all, the true golden child. Even if he discards every last drop of his being, his lineage will always remain. I believe the Horn Scent suspects what I have in mind. He never placed his full trust in me, even under the effect of kindly Miquella's spell. He must have recognized something. The scent of the killer that slept within me, the stench of crusted blood. I will follow the Horn Scent. To have his revenge on Sir Mesmer, there is only one place he will go. The Black Keep.
And that's where we're off to. The Shadow Keep main gate. 2 parts ago, we made our way through the church district. Actually, I lied. We're going through the storehouse back section. Because I just remembered that this is a whole entire section. If you don't remember, you get to hear through an elevator in the church district. Also, we can drop down here. Here we can pick up the Bolt Drake Talisman +3. And we can open this. And this is actually a shortcut. I mean, I don't know if shortcut is the word, but definitely an alternate entrance. Because now we are inside of the main Shadow Keep. Like, you're supposed to go from the Shadow Keep, beat a boss, go through a bunch of stuff, and then go up an elevator here, and then get to the storehouse first floor. And this is supposed to be like a big checkpoint. I wonder if we can call it... Oh, we can. So we can actually go backwards. I wonder if we can go into the Golden Hippo boss backwards. I'm very curious. Oh. Very cool. Very cool, sir. However, it was a die. Oh, a smithing stone 6 and a 7. Nice. Very nice. And over there, that's the lead a horn scent stuff. Not gonna do that right now, though. Instead, we're going to continue making our way over here. This is normally a shortcut back into the golden hippo fight. But since we didn't kill the golden hippo, we can't open it. Tragic. Well, back to the back section, I suppose. That is unfortunate. But what can you do? We tried to break the game. The game said we're not dealing with your nonsense. Honestly, what's a man to do? This poor Fire Knight. Alright. I was about to say, sir, I'm trying to be nice to you. Don't push it. Carrion thrusting shield. 615 intelligence. No, that looks too stupid on her back. I was gonna say, maybe we can have this as our shield. Because 5 intelligence really isn't that much. We could get that right now with a single talisman, actually. But no. I mean, I can just stab you in the back and send you off. Goodbye. Easy as can be. Easy as can be. I was about to say, is there anyone behind us? Ow. If them is the games you wanna play, you get the whip. Smithing stone 7 and 8, that's nice. Yeah, see how much easier it was to deal with them using whips? And the pata isn't even that bad. Not great by any means, but pretty good for dealing with these smaller enemies. Like, dual wielding it, a single button tap is enough. Okay. 16 faith requirement, 11 FP cost. So we could drop down there. I think that brings us to the main section, like the main Shadow Keep. Always check your corners, especially if there's a turn on one side and a death drop on the other side, or any drop that you can't get back up from immediately. You always want to check your corners. Because especially in Elden Ring, and I'm going to assume Dark Souls 2 as well, since I have very much heard that Elden Ring takes a lot from Dark Souls 2. That was the Storehouse Loft SOTE grace, by the way. But I'm gonna assume Dark Souls 2 does the same. Locking onto the bats is not a good idea. Good. Honestly, neither of my weapons are that good against bats. But I feel like the whip will be better. Now here we can go that way, or we can go this way. And this way might seem like a dead end, but you can actually drop down onto that cog with the bat and then jump over there, and then that gets you to that section. And just above our runes, you can kind of see a doorway. That doorway is where we want to get to. That's like the goal of this section. And so, you can go that way and get to the end like as fast as possible. 4 smithing stone 7s, wow. Or you can go the pathing that I'm taking. And it's a lot slower and more convoluted, but it has more items. Now here, oh no, dead end, but you can drop down there. Or you can drop down onto this cog to get Wrath from Afar, which is kind of like Wrath of the Gods, but instead of exploding directly on top of you, or like out of you, you shoot it at an enemy. So, Wrath of Gold, that's what it's called in this game. So Wrath of Gold is the melee version, this is the ranged version. So you want to drop down onto this cog and then jump over. And from here, as you can see, oh no, there's nowhere to go except for this ladder. And you can also drop down there. That kind of looks like the main Shadow Keep. And that's Wrath from Afar. No. 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 Bad Fire Knight. Give me 2 Smith and Stone 7s and a helmet. Those are mine now. Alright, but here, there's a ladder down, and that brings you closer to where you, quote-unquote, want to be. Want to be. Listen, I speak fast, okay? I'm sorry. I come from a people that speak quickly. Little jump. Fire Knight Hild. And we can make our way down here. You can get there or here. Item there. Nope. Yeah, don't let anyone tell you that whips are bad. They're committing an untruth, as some people may say. But Fire Knight Hild, 116 FP. A spirit who belonged to the Fire Knights, an order which answers directly to Mesmer. Hild swings a slender greatsword and casts fire incantations. Hild was a dear friend to Salza the Sage and joined those who urged that specimens be preserved. Hild's ashes were enshrined as a charm to protect the storehouse. And they're either doing a great job or a terrible job, depending on if you see me as an intruder or a liberator. Summerstone 8. Yeah, if you took the quick way, I pointed out, you'd land on that cog, then you'd land here. Look at that. How many weapon classes would have been able to stop that attack? Like, double claw attack? Because that comes out pretty fast. And they do it at a decent range. So, most melee weapons not hitting that far away. But the whip does. And I keep pointing this out, not to say that the whip is a good weapon class, because it's certainly far from the best. I'm pointing it out to say that whips are not useless, they are not garbage. Kinda wish we could open this. It'd be so nice to open this door. I don't even know what's on the other side of it, but I want it open. Yeah, like I was saying, I don't point these things out to say that whips are good, because I don't think that they're particularly great. I point it out as a way of saying that whips aren't useless, and that they don't deserve an abundance of hate. And just to point out that, like, you can use just about anything. Because if you've been watching these runs, you probably picked up that I'm not that good at these games. I'm very okay. 92. that put us at? I'm gonna keep popping these. That's gonna put us like one away, isn't it? Yep. Tragic. $500, that's gotta be enough. Yep. Ooh. We went from 83 to 84. So getting to 15 arcane allowed us to go up 1 blood loss build-up. Yay! And that's something I forgot to change. We got the +3 so we can put +2 into storage. Yay! Let's see, Blessed Do. He does magic so we can do this. Oh, Saint Trina's Smile. I was gonna say, we used to be able to go, and by used to I mean in the last part we were able to go straight up. Or straight down, rather. Dragon Crest Great Shield for physical, Spell Drake +3 for magic, Pearl Drake +2 for almost the highest amount of non-physical, and then Crimson Seed for healing back. This is better for magic, but worse for everything else. And yeah, I'm summoning Mimic here. Ooh. We were able to roll through that. That was nice. I was gonna say, most of the time, that tended to hit me. But on both of those attacks that hit me, I had rolled too early. He's acting very weird. I rolled too late. Sir, please, you're acting so strangely. That was half my health. Yeah, he's acting so weird right now. And I don't think it's mimicked here. He's just acting weird. That was mimicked here. Because mimicked here is here, but... yeah, he's just acting so strange right now. Oh, I thought he was gonna do a different attack. Am I gaslighting myself? I feel like I'm going insane. Oh my, Jesus Christ. But I fought him, like, this is one of my most fought bosses at this point. I've fought Commander Gaius more than most bosses in the DLC because I've helped multiple people with him. And I feel like I haven't seen half of these attacks. Despite him being the boss I've seen the most of. That was so strange. I feel like my brain died. I legitimately did not recognize half those attacks. Even though, again, I fought him over a dozen times. Like, this is only my third character, but I've helped multiple people on the second character. The one I've been doing co-op on. I mean, I spent a good, like, I think 3 hours just hanging out there, helping other people. But he acted so strange there, and maybe that was partially from Mimic Tier, but I don't think that was fully Mimic Tier. I think he was just being weird. We're still losing stamina. Why are we still losing stamina? Alright, there we go. Yeah, like I said, he was just acting so strange. And you could chalk a bit of that up to Mimic Tier, but I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think all of it. I don't think even the majority. I think he was just being weird. And I don't know why. But yeah, it feels like I don't recognize half those moves, despite having a ton of experience fighting him. Like, I have more experience fighting him than any other boss in the DLC. We can go with the best man win. Yeah, that's right next to our mother. Very good. Alright, so I'm just gonna move on from that, because that did not feel natural. No part of that felt good. I don't think there's any Skidoo Tree fragments or Revered Spirit Ashes here. I mean, in general, there's not a lot here. Like, this is more of a visual and lore area than a goodies area. Because there's the 2 tree sentinels, there's an incantation, there's a boss soul duplicator somewhere around here, there's the falling star beast, there's the talisman here, and there's a colossal hand somewhere around here. Somewhere around here. I don't remember what the colossal hand actually gives you, though. But I remember thinking, like, when I got to it, I remember thinking that's not worth it. So, since we still have 30 minutes left, I'm gonna head over to the Scorpion River Catacombs, and we can do this. And then we can do Hinterlands and the Finger Ruin stuff in a later part. So that way we can do the Finger Ruins and the Finger stuff and the Cathedral of Manus Meter all as one part. I think that's good. I think that's a pretty good example of how this weapon goes. The pata. I forgot about this. Whoops. But I'm actually going to swap the pata. Over to being keen. Gaining 20 base damage and 54 additional damage, it looked like. One, two. Nearly a 2-shot. Not as in 2 swings, but 2 button presses. Don't attack me. Thank you for not attacking me. That's quite kind of you, actually. I did not afford you the same kindness? That's because I'm evil. Evil. Yeah, so the thing there, that's a basilisk statue. And if you're in the line of sight of the giant eyeballs that show up, it'll build Death Blight, which is why I put on the Prince of Death's Cyst. In order to have more Death Blight resistance. Oh. I thought this room was in the other one. Because there's another... I think there's 2 more catacombs, actually. Huh. If I remember correctly, there's, I think, 3 catacombs, 3 jails, which are kind of like caves in the base game, 3 ruined forges, which are kind of like the tunnels in the base game. They're like a mix of tunnels and the hero graves, where they have more the layout and feel of a hero grave, but the rewards and enemies of tunnels. And then there's just a dragon's pit, which kind of sticks out because it's different. Going through here, on my second character, the one where I was helping others, doing co-op and whatnot, this was one of the areas that I helped. Like where I helped another person. We can go without it for one area, as painful as that'll be. But this is one of the areas where I helped another person, and going into here, like as soon as we entered this room, we got invaded, and the invaders always spawned close, and so I figured there's also a marker on the invader's compass that shows where the host is, and so I figured like, the invader will spawn close by, and they'll know that we're here in this room because of the compass, and so they'll hang out here and, like, smack us as we run through. So I sprinted through and rolled, like, going ahead of the host, which is against my rules, because I have certain rules for co-op. Yeah, we can drop down. Why not? But yeah, I have certain rules for co-op. Uh-oh. Oh, the second one backed off. Cool. Thank you, Mr. Basilisk. But the main rule is that host leads. That whoever is the host, they're the one who goes first. And thought I heard another enemy. Guess not. But the reason I have that rule is so that way I don't, like, get summoned in and then just go, alright, you go here, 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 and then go to the boss. Because I feel like that ruins the sense of exploration and finding things on your own. And as a cooperator, I see my job as being to help the host stay alive going through the area. And so I help with combat, but I don't show them through the area unless they message me saying, like, hey, how do I get to this thing, or where do I go? Unless the host specifically asks me, or at least implies that they want me to show them. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, unless they ask me to show them where to go, I don't. That's just part of the rules. Because I want them to feel that sense of exploration and discovering things on their own. Black Knight Captain Hugh. But yeah, so running through there, I took charge because I don't want the host to die to an invader. But it turns out the invader wasn't there. And I got so confused. And we went through the entire area just not knowing where on earth this invader was. Because they did not show up anywhere. I thought that was gonna hit me. Impeded lion. But turns out they were, I think, on one of these. And when we passed them, they just... they used a Mimic's Veil, which turns you into an item in the environment. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Knight's Lightning Spear, one of my favorite incantations. But yeah, they used Mimic's Veil, and they just followed us around the area. And they followed us all the way to the very end of the area. And just didn't show themselves until that point. Until we were directly in front of the boss fog. Also, we went up onto that and then dropped down there. And so we went around. And so you can do that or run across the bridge. It's your choice. And also, if I had just put on Blessed Dew Talisman earlier, that chunk of health that I'm missing would have been completely filled up by now. So, yeah, just use an HP regen. It'll be so much better for your health. I promise you. But yeah, I imagine that the invader had a good laugh watching us be super paranoid. Like, stopping around every corner to check like this to make sure that the invader wasn't around the corner. And constantly looking, constantly being paranoid. When turns out the invader was right behind us. Sir, I just want a one-on-one. I just want a one-on-one. How hard could that possibly be? Jeez. Anyways. Yeah, I imagine the invader had a good chuckle watching us be so paranoid and so clueless. The fact that they were behind us. Oh, yeah. This area. I need to roll that a bit earlier. But they're not shooting at us anymore, so it's fine. But yeah, when they did eventually decide to show themselves, it did not work out for them. Because there were two of us and one of them. And we were at the very end of the area, so you could say that we were cornered, but we kind of weren't, because we could just walk into the boss fog. Whereas they were cornered because for some reason they sent the elevator up, meaning that we were kind of semi-trapped, whereas they were fully trapped. Ow. How could you? How could you? How could you? Alright. I find it strange that they, like, don't attack for some reason. Dragon Bolt Grease. It's like, they have the opportunity to attack, and they just don't take it. That was so mean. There's absolutely no reason for that. Mr. Sir. But yeah. Like, all of these combat encounters, they had the opportunity to attack us. And put themselves in a position where they were at an advantage. Because it was the host and I, meaning we had two people, whereas they just had themselves. And so they could have went after us when we were fighting an enemy, or fighting a group of enemies, to even the odds, but they just didn't. And I do appreciate that, because it made things a lot easier on us. But it just wasn't a smart decision on their part. Although, again, I do have to admit, it was pretty funny. Watching us be completely clueless and paranoid. Slowly going through the area, checking every corner. Going, where are they? When we could have just gone. Because weird light stuff going on there. But they were one of these things. And seeing one of these things just moving around, following us, it would have been so easy to spot them if we just turned around, but we never did. And so, as I said, not smart on us, but I do appreciate the comedic nature of that. That's an attack I haven't seen before. I don't think I've seen it before, at least. Nice. I didn't think he was going to throw out the attack, like the grab attack, that fast. I mean, I applaud it, because why wouldn't you throw that attack out? It's a good attack, but I just wasn't expecting it that early. Anyways, whoosh. Death Knight down, 156,000 runes. The Death Knight's long half-axe, which I used in the final, like, third, maybe a bit more of the first run. It was pretty good. It didn't do as much damage as I was hoping, but that could absolutely be because it has D in strength and faith. And my strength was at like 60, I think, and my faith was at 45. And I had a lot of points into Dex, which Dex is the lowest in terms of scaling. So I could have gone higher into strength, I could have gone higher into faith if I was willing to drop dex. And so, even though the damage was less than I had hoped, that's kind of on me. Because I was using this weapon and a dex weapon. And so I had a lot of points into dex because I was also using a dex weapon. And so that was on me for not going with a single consistent build. But it was still good. It still had good damage, good range. It wasn't too slow, didn't take too much stamina. It had good poise damage, good stance damage, it had nice moves. I didn't really use Blink Bolt long-hafted axe. I didn't like it that much. Because whenever I used it, it felt like I would move forward and I would either move past the enemy or I would just hit the enemy and I would do like no damage. And then the follow-up attack, the enemy would just move to the side and I would miss. And so I wasn't a big fan of the weapon skill. But I've heard that some people absolutely love the skill. I more so loved the visual design and the basic moveset, like the R1s and occasional R2s. But, yeah, good weapon. I used it in the first run, the initial run. It was good. I very much enjoyed it. And then Cerulean Amber Medallion +3, which is very meh. But I think we can stop it here. So we went through the... It's either Storehouse... I think it's Storehouse Loft. No, Storehouse back section. We went through the Storehouse back section, the Loft, the back gate, and Skidoo View, getting to the Skidoo Tree Chalice. We got access to the hinterland, and then we made our way through the Scorpion River Catacomb. And in this part, we got the Bolt Drake Talisman +3, the Carrion Thrusting Shield, one of the 2 thrusting shields that I know of. There might be more, but I don't see there being much more than 2. But we got the Fire Serpent incantation, the Wrath from Afar incantation, which I just realized I didn't use on my initial character even though I had 45 faith. Whoops. But we got the Fire Knight Hild Spear Dash. We got Remembrance of the Wild Boar Rider. We got the Sharpshot Talisman. We got Black Knight Captain Hugh Spear Dash. We got the Impet Line, which gives you 2 points into the health stat. We got the Knight's Lightning Spear incantation. Very good, highly recommend. Not the most powerful, but it's powerful enough, and it's very fun to use. We got the ability to craft Dragon Bolt Grease. We got a Great Ghost Glowwort. We got the Death Knight's Long-Haft Axe. This is another thing I highly recommend. Not overpowered. It's not gonna carry you through the entire game if you have no skill. But it got me through a decent bit, and I'm very okay at these games. And so it's pretty strong, and it was very fun to use. And we also got the Cerulean Amber Medallion +3. So, with that being said, good progress. I'm happy. And, yeah.